always bring up the argument, just free will and omnipotency coexisting together just does not make any logical sense.
The man in this video is mistakenly trying to argue that if God knows everything we will do in the future with 100% certainty, then we can't have free will, and this is downright wrong. The guy in this video admits that foreknowledge usually doesn't entail causation, but then he asserts that if the knowledge is held by God, then it does equal causation. And there is zero reason to accept that assertion. That doesn't even make sense. If my having a justified true belief that X will happen does not cause X, it doesn't make sense to say that all of a sudden that same belief in the mind of God causes X to happen. Like, that does not follow. And if you try to argue that it does because God can't be wrong, you're making a fundamental logical blunder in modal logic. You are arguing as follows. Your argument is 1, necessarily if P, then Q. 2, P. 3, therefore necessarily Q. In this syllogism, let P represent God knowing I will do something, and let Q represent me doing it. This is not a logically valid syllogism. This is formally invalid. The conclusion is not necessarily Q. It's just Q. If you wanted to make the conclusion necessarily Q, then you would need to change premise 2 to being necessarily P. But I can reject that God necessarily knows P, and instead say that whether or not God knows P is contingent on whether or not I do it.